Hello everyone. As you can see from the title of this video, I do have some bad news. So I am going to actually start off with some positive things. As you probably have followed on Calvin's channel, on Maple Poon, we just actually had a really 2 fun weeks down on vacation in Florida. So that was really fun. Doing that, we got a chance to get away. We desperately needed that. Just a lot of stress and things happening. Just everywhere and going on. We had great weather. It was really good down there. Sorry I haven't had a chance to go on and upload any videos myself on that. I do have them all on the computer. I just haven't had a chance to really go through them. But I will be getting through to those because I did promise I was going to get those on there. Really, it's, as you've probably seen, I haven't quite been myself. In his videos, I've been kind of a little mellow and low-key. Part of the reason for that is something happened and actually came up. I kind of saw something kind of happening near the end of the vacation and on the way, and it was like, okay, I was like, maybe I'm just imagining it, or maybe it's okay. When I got to work, we had a meeting. Due to the economy and to the sales and all the stuff, things haven't been doing too good. And I actually just got laid off. They actually laid off quite a few people. So it was really sad and really a shock to the system to come back from 2 weeks vacation, and literally on the day you come back, you don't have a job. And especially with Christmas next month. So that's really, really going to make things really difficult and stressful for us. I've been with the company now for 2 years. This was kind of a little bit of a shocker to come back from vacation, and it's sorry you don't have a job. Little bit of a history for you guys. We kind of had an issue back in 2014 when we had gone on one of our vacations. It was literally just a few weeks after I came back from vacation where kind of the same thing happened. It was a Friday, end of the week, right before I was going to have a weekend off. Called into the office, and pretty much it was kind of the same thing. We're letting you go. You don't have a job. And at that time, I was with the company for 10 years. They let me go literally a month and a half before my 10-year anniversary. That was really hard to bounce back from because that's 10 years of stability. I didn't really have any worry or issue on there. I was one of those employees that it was, you would never really think, because I was taking care of multiple departments and doing multiple things, doing the jobs of what, like 3 or 4 people were doing. You kind of get to that, and everybody was like, oh, well, you're indispensable. They won't get rid of you. You know what? I don't believe it. Anytime somebody says that, it's like, okay, you know what? You don't know what you're talking about. I've now been there multiple times where I was the indispensable one, and after years, you're the one who gets let go. Nobody's indispensable, really. That's the fact. That in 2014 was really difficult because when you've been with a company for 10 years, right? It was years before I had gone to do interviews, updated resumes. I had no references. All the previous people are gone. They were no longer available. And the company I was with at that time, this is kind of the stupid part, is In order to get hired there, it was you mandatory to have two business references, but they will not provide a reference. Even I was in a management position, we were forbidden to provide and offer any references for anybody. To me, that's bad business. Um, Now, with the current company, it is kind of sad. Um, it's really going to hurt them because I ended up being the last longest term employee they had because it was this eventually down the line. And I was the only one that knew how to do everything. They don't really have anybody right now. They're going to be blind, but unfortunately, that's the way the economy is. Right, some places are hurting. They have to let people go, and others they can't keep up. They can't get staff, and it's just really, really a weird mix that we have right now. So it is sad, but they will help and at least provide a reference. So at least I have references this time. But again, we've been, Kelvin and I, since we've been together, this is our second, my mind's just going blank. I'm just having so much troubles thinking now. Recession. We're going through our second recession now together. And now this is the second time I've lost a job. Well, this was no fault. There were not any fault of my own. It really puts a big damper and stress on everything. Especially me, our relationship. It makes you I'm just kind of like, what do I do now? Where do I go? Right? It's pick up the pieces and try to move on and try to be positive. The only thing is, because it's only been 2 years, at least I still had a lot of the stuff that I'd done back then. So at least I was able to put something into play. When I had lost that job after 10 years, it had been probably 17, 18 years since I had last even the first time or the only time I ever had done EI and had to really deal with anything. Because even let's see, if I go back to like 2002, 2003, when I had lost my one job there that I had for 7 years. Literally, it's when you're being in a small town, I had the reputation. So literally, is like once I had lost my job, word got around that I was available and I had offers. So I didn't really have to deal with anything at that time. Here, being in the big city, it's a little bit more difficult. You don't really kind of have that like in a small town where everybody knows your name. Here, it's like a fight and fend for yourself. You're in the same line as everybody else trying to say, pick me. Don't hire them, hire me. It is that kind of dog eat dog world. Just has been a lot of things that's happened. Hopefully we can pull through, this time. It's over the last few years, there's been a lot, right? Canada's gone through a big change. We've gone through a change in Alberta. We went from Conservative to NDP, and right now that's causing the big thing. The oil industry is going through a big change and downfall. We've gone through floods. We've gone through the storms or the hail damage. We've gone through the fire that's in Alberta. That's three big, when I'm thinking about it, no, that's three huge disasters that we've been through in the last couple of years. then, Canada's gone through the change of the government. It's, the Prime Minister, we gone from the Conservative to the Liberal. And when we were down in Florida, Florida was going through their big change right now, and right now that's all up in the battle. Because it's, it could be that it's looking like, we got Trump. They got Trump. A lot of people don't realize that affects the whole world, including Canada, right? Because we're neighbors. It affects everybody. So it's, I don't know, it's just really uncertain of what the future holds, and really how to go forward. And it's just, right now it's just trying to do, a day at a time. Trying to keep myself busy and to get things, going. Applying, because we've gone through so many recessions up here, and this one's gone on for a few years, and it depends on who you talk to. Some say, oh, we're gone, we're not in a recession. Others are like going, yes, we are. It really depends on who's reporting, where they're from, where in Canada they're from, because everybody's on a different page. Even here in the city, you'll have people who are, it's like, they can't get a job, the recession's hit, and they're so bad. And others are kind of like going, what are you talking about? What recession? We got money, everything's fine. You just get really mixed reviews. Yeah, so it's just going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. I'm going to do what I can to, to make sure that we can keep the house, pay the bills and keep things going. It's just going to be really tough. It took me 6 months last time to find a job. We'll have to see what happens this time. That's what I was saying with the EI back in 2014 when I had applied for EI. They were so backed up, and they got the information that that they can say, yeah, it takes up to this many weeks. It actually took twice as long as what it should have. I didn't get my first check coming in for 8 weeks. That's 2 months. Thank God that there was a tiny bit of money. But I literally had to stretch everything. And do what I can to try to make it work. And even the maximum that you get on EI, you can't survive on this. You'd have to be, renting just a bedroom in a basement suite in order to be able to, to survive on what they pay. It's for the max payout. It's so low. It's poverty, really. And then, of course, with the NDP, that's changing it. So, in 2 years, we're going to be raising our minimum wage to $15. We're going to see more businesses closing and layoffs. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. The few people that have a job would be like going, hey, I'm getting paid this, but I'm not getting hours, or it's going to be, they're not going to have a job because the companies, all those shops are going to have to close. They can't afford to have the staff because, or something's going to have to happen. Prices are going to have to raise substantially. Somebody has to absorb the cost. And unfortunately, things just aren't evening out. They're just not evening out. So yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know of what's been going on. Calvin's been trying to pick up extra shifts at work. You know, he's grumbling, and it's every job he's had, he hates it, and it's like, I know what job he has, and I'm like looking at it going, do you realize what you have? You have a job. It's not really overly stressful. You're making it stressful. And you're getting paid very well. You got benefits. Well, he has to switch his benefits back on. You get vacation time. You're getting what others don't. And it's not like a really dirty shit job. Sorry to be saying it that way. And I just don't get why he gets it and understands it. I'd trade his place in an instant. I it's I don't know. It's hopefully we'll be able to pull through this. At least we had 2 weeks of sun and relaxation. It may not look like it. Usually I either get no tan or I kind of burn and then it peels and it's gone. This time it looked like I was actually tanning nicely, and it looked like it when I was down there. It may not look like it, but yeah, I did get a little bit, a nice good base tan. But as soon as we came home and you hit the cold weather, it just literally melts and disintegrates any tan you've done. It's instantly gone. It's almost like you get nothing. Yeah, but that's pretty much our shocker. Come home from vacation and no longer have a job. No longer have benefits. And it took, 2 years to start get myself back up that ladder to where, we were comfortable, we were fine, and to earn that vacation time again. And now that's gone and I'm back to square one. Right? We just can't keep doing this. Like, last year we were hit with a hot water tank that went and had to replace. And deal with that. Deal with the washing machine. This year it's the insurance company that we were with for 17 years. We had to cancel and say goodbye. After 17 years of service, they were unable to provide us with the best rate. And I'm sorry, I can't afford an extra, a couple hundred a month. It was almost $2,000 to $2,400 extra a year that the insurance was going to jump up. And there was no reason for it, which was kind of sad. So the switching of that's not easy because you have to switch and pay the first month's or the deposit plus the first month's on the first one. So I was having to borrow money for that. Right then my sister was dealing with her washing machine. I had to go help her. Hers kind of did the same thing that ours did, but hers is only a few years old. So we had to fix and repair that and yada 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 yada. It's right. Mortgage came up. Couldn't refinance because we didn't have enough. There was just no way really to do it. To really cut us a break. All we could do was renew it and maybe save $100 a month. Which is sort of good, but now I don't have a job. It's back to the hitting the pavement again. Not trying to depress anybody. I was kind of fine yesterday. It didn't really hit. It's taken 2 days now, and today it's kind of really hitting me. And kind of sinking in of You know, what do I do? Am I doing it right? You know, what, right? Even if we sell the house, we have nowhere to go. Can't get a mortgage if you don't have a job. Don't really want to rent because there's not really much places for rent, and how much you're paying for rent is the same as what you're paying for a mortgage. And half of them you can't have pets, and they won't fit half of the stuff. And then we'd end up having to sell everything. So, or, you know, do I start selling some stuff? I don't know. It's all I can do is, you know, stay positive. And as Walt Disney, I know I'm using a Disney quote, as he said, keep moving forward. That's all, folks.